Notre Dame football got their first win of the season and their first win under head coach Marcus Freeman last Saturday against the Cal Bears. This weekend, they're on the road to UNC. All of this and more coming up. Shamrock Sports starts now. Welcome back to the second floor of the Duncan Student Center. My name is Kelly Gorman, and I'm joined by Chloe Stafford and Liz Perna. As a little treat for the first win of the season, we have an all-girls desk today here at Shamrock Sports. Let's recap the Cal game this past Saturday. Chloe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it was the first win, which is always good, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Tommy Reese looked a lot at the run game and quick short passes for Drew Pine's first start, which is good. We don't want to give him anything too difficult. But the running backs did a pretty good job, in my opinion, with Chris Tyree and Audric Estime. Chris Tyree was underutilized for the first two games, but had a massive 21-yard touchdown against Cal with 108 yards in all. And Estime had some good playing time, too, leading rushes with 76 yards and 3 catches for an additional 43 yards. So I definitely think that was great to see our running backs used more, and I would like to see that in the future, too. So that was definitely a good little insight with the Cal game.
Yeah, definitely. I also thought that. Watching the game from the stands, I mean, Tyree stood out so much to me. Audric, too. They were both great.
And
Liz?
just that massive 21-yard touchdown with the excitement in the stands is just something we've been looking for this season. It definitely got the crowd excited. I hope it got the team excited as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought it was a good win, but I thought it was a sloppy win. Definitely hard fought, but we can't play like this for the rest of the season. If we're being realistic, it worked against Cal. It probably won't work for us for the rest of the season. But I thought the O-line played well, but I thought the reason the run game looked so bad is because our vertical pass game was so weak. They knew that we wouldn't be testing them on the vertical pass, so then the safeties kept cheating up. And even though our offensive line was blocking, they couldn't do anything about the safety coming up, getting in there, and messing up the run game. And that really just prevented us from making those explosive runs through the middle, which we're so good at usually. And I think that this week we need to use our play calling, and we need to make the safeties worried about the vertical passing game, make them respect the deep ball so they stop creeping up. And if they don't hold their position in the backfield, we got to make them pay for it.
Definitely. Great insights. I mean, do you think that our expectations as Notre Dame fans right now are too high? Like, what did you guys think going into that game? Did you think we were going to win?
I think it's hard to say with Cal, but I'm going to take it back to the Marshall game. I think everyone going into the Marshall game thought that was an easy win. And obviously, we were not correct.
We were not correct. We were not correct.
We did, in fact, lose. So I definitely think it's a little, we got to be more careful going into games, even if it's against Clemson or UNLV. Either way, you got to come in with the same mindset of this game is going to be hard, and we're going to compete like it's the Natty. You got to compete every week like it's the national championship. And that's how you get to a national championship.
Definitely.
Absolutely, but I also think we need to remember that we're here with a new head coach and a new quarterback, and as much as we are Notre Dame and we like to expect the best from us, this is a rebuilding year, let's be honest, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that we're getting Pine's confidence up, we're getting to see Marcus Freeman showing us what he can do, and it's getting better. No one can say it's not. So I think this win was great. We got one win in the book, and it only goes up from here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's especially hard for us. The three of us here are seniors. The past 3 years, we've gone into every home game. Pretty much, like most of the home games we've seen, we've won. And it's been good games. So I think it's really just a change of mindset for the fans, but also for the team. I think it'll be interesting. Any other thoughts about the Cal game?
I would just say that, yeah, as seniors, the only game we've seen lost in Notre Dame Stadium happens to be Cincinnati, which was a really well-thought game. It was a hard game. And then we come off of that into this season where we get a lose against Marshall. And it just makes you think as a Notre Dame fan how you're going to change your expectations throughout the year.
Absolutely. And I mean, no one likes to see us lose at home. The alma mater does not sound as good after
It
a loss.
does not sound good after a loss.
It's not the right vibes for us. So hopefully that doesn't happen again this season, and especially not against such a bad team, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now we'll hear from Ian McKenzie and Tyler Reedy on Hitting the Streets.
What's up, guys? I'm Keith Agasos.
And I'm Mac McKenzie, and today we're going to go in a different direction than what we usually do, and we're going to go around campus and let the fans tell us what their thoughts are about game day.
Going to be very non-analytical, more based on traditions and experiences. So hop on, guys.
All right, let's see what our fans have to say.
What's up, Domers? I'm here with my good friend Jacob Miller. And Jacob, we're going to play Are You Rocking With This or Not?
All right.
First, are you rocking with touchdown push-ups?
I am rocking with touchdown push-ups. I think they're great tradition, and I would even suggest touchdown pull-ups in the future.
That'd be a bit of a hassle to metal detectors, but we can get it done. Now,
all right, so I want you guys to give us your favorite tailgate tradition. Favorite tailgate tradition? Before every game, I just have a really nice hot dog.
How about you?
Every morning for games, I wake up and drink a half a gallon of milk.
Awesome. Okay.
and now, what about the student section in the sun?
I also am rocking with that. I love the sunburns. I love the tan line, especially tarps off fourth quarter.
Tarps off fourth quarter,
It's a
baby.
great
Can't
time.
beat it. You get all red, which kind of contrasts to blue, but you know, it is what it is.
All right, can you guys give us your favorite in-game traditions? I like the part when they get the little kids on the screen and they get the crowd pumped up.
Nice.
And now, what about having only one Jumbotron?
You know, I'd like to see a couple more, maybe one on each side, maybe 4, maybe 5. Just get it
Just
every angle.
Put Jumbotrons in every inch. It's like a whole movie theater.
If you can give us a 1 out of 10 rating for Coach Freeman's performance so far, what would you give?
Maybe a 7. I mean, we lost 2 tough games in the beginning, but we just coming off a big win. So
Fair enough. How about you?
I give it 10
All right.
for obvious reasons.
Exactly.
What about Irish for green? What do you think about that?
I loved that. It was great. It contrasted the blue. It really just showed our true Irish heritage of this university.
Exactly. It's great that everyone wore green, not just the players. All right. Well, Jacob, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And go Irish.
Go Irish.
Hey, you know what these interviews that Marcus Freeman have in common? Both are exquisite pieces of work.
Well, that's all for us. Back to you guys in the studio.
Go Irish and beat Tar Heels.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. We're taking a little break from football to talk a little football, if you may, with women's soccer, and a big one last night, knocking off the number 2 team in the country, UVA, 1-0. Women's soccer deserving all the love here, and I'm talking to NDTV's one and only insider, JJ Post. JJ, so happy to have you with us that we could sneak in a little football talk here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the win last night can't really be understated in what it says about the team in terms of this year and where the program's at as a whole. Under Nate Norman, the Irish 2 last night were 0-19-1 against top 10 opposition. They were 0-11-1 against the ACC's top 4. To get a win both shows that this year's team is a team that can compete for the top of the ACC. It's a team that can compete to the College Cup, but it also shows that the program as a whole is reaching a place where the standard is to be among the top of the ACC. The standard is not to be, a team that's going to, win those mid-level games but struggle against the, the top of the top. It's a team that's, getting that talent, getting the depth to run with, some of the best teams in the conference. I think, for both this year, it's obviously nice to see that a senior-laden team, 8 upperclassmen starters, could be a College Cup contender. I imagine they're going to get a nice boost in the rankings because of their win over the number 2 team. But it also shows as a program, they're moving that floor, they're moving that baseline to, a higher level, going back to where Notre Dame once was, as a blue blood of the sport, a program that won 3 national titles and, now in the current state is kind of showing why they won 3 national titles and not looking like a shell of their former selves.
Yeah, and you hinted at it right there. This is a team right now that's starting to find themselves at the right time. They have the right amount of experience. However, they also have a strong freshman class that comes in that can provide that leadership. And right now, also the sophomore class is looking strong as well within it. But really, everybody is doing their job effectively and efficiently to do this. But JJ, where do you think maybe one of their biggest strengths is right now?
I think it has to be the defense. You don't hold a team of Virginia's quality to 1 shot on target all game and not be a defensively sound team. It's the team that allowed 4 goals in open play in all of non-conference play. It's a team that was so good that Nate Norman himself said he couldn't decide which of his 2 goalies was better when they had the open competition because neither of them had to make saves in games. So really, the defense has been stifling so far. That 5 at the back system they prefer gives them that level of control over how they want to dictate possession, but it also gives them that stability that, in transition against Virginia. I think one of the things they built on from Clemson was against Clemson, their only lost season, Clemson was able to beat them in transition. They were able to get out in space and attack that space, and Notre Dame had gaps. Against UVA, those gaps didn't exist because the defense did a much better job of, both controlling their own space, but also stepping up, maybe overlapping and underlapping when needed to cover for space. I think this is a team that's only growing in its ability as the season goes on. I think that's really, something to watch for if this team can keep on holding teams of Virginia's caliber to 1 shot on target. This team is going to be to a lot of danger in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I agree completely. Like, this is a team that has high playoff aspirations to come down the rest of the way. However, let's get off the pitch here for a little bit, and let's turn to the hardcore, where we're also seeing volleyball also become a very large factor in Notre Dame right now, as Salima Rockwell, first year as a head coach, had a rough start in that opening invitational. Both me and you were on the ESPN Plus call for all 3 games. Was able to get her first win against the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Stumbled a little bit at the Long Beach State Invitational. Found themselves again. But right now, they're going into ACC play this weekend with a good head on their shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a team that we kind of figured would be finding its stride as the season went on, and they followed that track. You know, it's a team that didn't really have any nailed-on starters heading into the year. You know, they lost a ton of production. They have a lot of freshmen and transfers coming in that you expect to make up part of the core. So no one really knew what Salima Rockwell would roll with in her first games, and I think so far she's shown that she's showing a willingness to rotate, to find who her best 6, 7 is, and, you know, how they fit best in the court. I think that's, something that really, made Notre Dame struggle in those first few games against high-quality opponents. But now, once they got those, those wins, those kind of confidence boosters, I think that win against Milwaukee was very big because it showed that Notre Dame could get, they could assert themselves, they could fight back from adversity, and they could get a win on home court. I think that was a big win for Rockwell, not only because it was a first, but it showed that this team can use 10 players and still win games. It showed this team can fight back from adversity as a young team and still win games. So I think this team is developing. I don't think this is the best Notre Dame team we'll see this season. I think they will continue to get better. I think they will continue to test themselves against top quality opposition because the ACC is no slouch of volleyball conference. They're going to get to play Louisville, Pitt, Georgia Tech. All of these are, top teams. I think, those games, I don't think we can realistically expect Notre Dame to win many of them, but I do think those games are going to help Notre Dame grow. They're going to help them get those young players integrated. It's going to help them find their best rotation heading down the stretch. And, I think Rockwell's goal will be to push their way into ACC tournament contention. Yep. And then once you get into ACC tournament contention, then see what you got, see if your best 6, then after a year of kind of gelling, a year of cohesion, can really compete at that level. And then that'll be the true benchmark where this team's at.
I agree completely. And also another thing, she's shown that she is not afraid to toss freshmen out there. She tossed Lucy Trump there. She started her on that first game as well. So freshmen, by no means, just because you're a freshman doesn't mean you're not going to play as well. And it's a young team. She had to go to the portal. She got 3 grad transfers, bringing really good experience into that locker room as well. The biggest one has been Winkler, who has shown up and shown out continuously throughout. But right now, you're looking at a team that going up against a tough teams in the ACC, because the drop-off's big. We've talked about this off-air, JJ, in the ACC. How do you contend as the first home game since August for this team comes back is September the 30th, next Friday, against a Georgia Tech team who's one of the top 10 teams in the country? How do you play them at home?
I think it's almost a paradox in the sense that the 2 goals have to be to 1, manage expectations, and 2, not be scared. You have to both admit this is a top 10 team. It's not a team that you're expected to compete with right now. It's not a team that you'll have more depth in. It's not a team you'll have more talent than. So you need to accept that as reality. But the second point to that point is you shouldn't be scared of Georgia Tech. You can't come out expecting to lose. You can't come out, wanting to just get it over with. So I think having that mentality to attack the game, to go up each and every point and keep on competing, even when Georgia Tech probably will take some big leads at some point. Georgia Tech's a team that, like we said just now, they have more talent, they have more depth in every area of the court. So I think, it's both about accepting that and knowing that you're not expected to win this game right away, but also not being afraid to go out and compete with a top 10 team, not go out and go up and contest every point, contest every set. 100%. I think that mentality has been a strength of Salima Rockwell's team so far. They've shown an ability to compete in games in which they were overmatched, and I think that served them well. I think, coming out with a test against this Georgia Tech team, game 1 is going to be another indicator of, just how strong this team's mentality is, just how unafraid this team's mentality is, and how that might serve them, because it only take you only need to win 3 sets at the end of the day. So you just win 1 and you go from there. So I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know if that's something that's going to happen. But really, keep the game in front of you. Know that you only need to win 1 point at a time. Just keep on winning points. Keep on winning every little fundamental mistake that could be made. Keep erasing those, and you'll stay in the game. I don't know if that's a realistic scenario, but if you're Notre Dame, that's the pathway to victory. It's just about staying confident, staying vigilant, and not being afraid of the competition anyway. And also just accepting the reality situation. You are a team that's growing. This is not going to be your best game of the season. It's not going to be the game that defines your season. So just go out there and play your style.
And also, it's TikTok night in the arena, so there's going to be TikTok dances. I think me and you maybe do a TikTok.
That's debatable.
That's debatable. However, we'll send it to Tyler Reedy with all that's going on around the sports world and what you should tune in for on your screens.
Welcome back to another edition of Watching the Weekend. I'm Tyler Reedy, and this week we'll discuss some intriguing conference matchups. We're getting to conference play in college football. We start to separate the pretenders and the contenders in the NFL, and we make our final approach to October in Major League Baseball.
Off we go in the ACC, where number 5 Clemson tries to make it 14 straight wins over number 21 Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons are coming off a near disaster against Liberty. Another big SEC matchup is on tap, with number 20 Florida trying to stun number 11 Tennessee on Rocky Top. The Gators have won 7 of their last 8 games in Knoxville. Keep an eye on number 15 Oregon and number 7 USC as they travel to undefeated Pac-12 opponents in Washington State and Oregon State with upset on their minds. The stakes are high once again for Arkansas and Texas A&M. The 23rd ranked Aggies are looking to put a pause on the number 10 Razorbacks' hot start in Dallas. And Week 3 of the NFL plays host to one of the most intriguing Bills-Dolphins matchups we've seen. Josh Allen has thrown multiple TDs in all 8 career games versus Miami, while Tua Tagovailoa became the first player in NFL history with 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns last week. Lamar Jackson just became the first player in league history with a 75-yard passing and rushing score in the same week, and he'll look to light up the Patriots in Foxborough this Sunday. The Cardinals are coming off a dramatic comeback win in Las Vegas, but they are just 1-10 against the Rams since 2017. LA also beat Arizona in the NFC wildcard last year. Green Bay has a score to settle in Tampa Bay. The Bucs beat the Packers 38-10 and won the NFC Championship at Lambeau Field in the 2020 season. Under 2 weeks remain in the MLB regular season, and the Phillies are hoping to get back on track after Atlanta swept them in a series we featured on the show last week. The Blue Jays offense cranked out 18 runs on Tuesday, but the Rays' strong pitching staff is poised to hold them down and make a move in the wild card standings. Houston sluggers Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker have hit 13 homers already this month. Baltimore's young guns and Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson will need to outduel them to stay in wildcard contention. Albert Pujols takes his chase for 700 home runs to Dodger Stadium. He sits at 698, and it won't be easy to belt 2 more against the best team in baseball.
That's all for this week's episode. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'll now send it back to Kelly and the girls in the studio.
Thank you so much, Tyler, and welcome back. Now let's talk about UNC and Notre Dame this weekend. The Irish are heading to Chapel Hill to try and get their 3rd straight win. The series against UNC is 20-2 with Notre Dame leading. Liz, what are your thoughts?
So we're just going to go through what scares and excites us. I'm going to say what scares me is that our offense has not been scoring. We've been seeing a lot of really low-scoring games from us. We haven't really been able to get the drives going. But it excites me that this UNC defense simply cannot defend. We saw them win 63-61 against App State, which they got the win, but that's a high-scoring win. That means their defense isn't playing well. That's good for our offense. So this defense can't stop anything. I think this is going to be a chance for us to actually open up our offense, to kind of get into our groove. I think with a new quarterback, you need to get the timing right. It's the cadence. We saw a lot of false starts. And I think they just need a little bit more time with this quarterback. And I think this defense is going to provide the opportunity for them to really get into their groove, adjust to Drew Pine, and get us a nice win going into the bye week.
I agree. I think we have to remember that it's Freeman's first season. It's Pine's first time starting. I think it'll be interesting. Chloe, what scares you? What excites you?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that, going back into the scares that excites me. I'm going to kind of just say something similar to Liz here. What excites me is what Pine can do against this team. I want to see Pine throw a little bit, kind of let it loose. As we talked about before, vertical passing is going to be really important in this game. Again, to reiterate what Liz said, UNC's previous games against Florida A&M, Appalachian State, and Georgia State were not very good, to say the least. They allowed many yards, including 421 yards of total offense against Georgia State. And that brings the UNC ranking in 123rd in the nation for total defense. And that's last in the ACC. So if they're last in the ACC in defense, I really think that will give us an opportunity, Notre Dame, to maybe use a more creative playbook. Use the vertical passes, still stick with the horizontal passes and the run game, but definitely gives us a little chance to see what Pine can do. See what Pine can do in his next start. And what scares me now? What scares me, as Liz mentioned before, we had quite a few false starts in this last game, and I really think we need to clean that up. Against Cal, both Braden Lindsay and Blake Fisher had false starts on 3rd downs, which is something you simply want to avoid. And then later in the game, linemans Jarrett Patterson and Zeke Corral also had false starts on back-to-back plays. And these simple mistakes are something that if Notre Dame could just clean up would make huge differences. We wouldn't even notice, but it would make huge differences. And I'm really hopeful that they kind of hit that in film when watching film this week, and maybe this time we'll see less false starts.
Definitely. I think it's going to be good for the Irish to get on the road and focus on just playing the game. We just want to focus on playing the game, none of this other stuff that might stress them out. I think it'll be good for them. What do you guys think? Who are you guys looking to step up this week? Who have you guys been hoping to do better in the past few games and has just not been living up to the expectations?
I'm looking to see Drew step up. We saw him last week. We saw Tommy Rees chewing his butt. And, you know, if you look at the stats from before and after that clip, we all saw the highlight clip.
Yeah, we saw the highlight clip.
Job. You know, after that clip, his stats went way up. I'm excited to see that fire lit under him. I think he's going to be coming out this weekend, ready to go. I think that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm excited to see him really kind of mesh with this team, find his receivers, and they're going to need it this week because UNC's punter is a really great punter. He's going to send them deep back into our own half. We're going to have to be getting long drives down the field. It's going to be a lot out of the playbook, and it's going to be a lot on Drew Pine. But I think he's ready. I think last week he got the talking to he needed to, and this week he's going to come out guns blazing, and he's going to show us what he can do.
I like it. I've always been hopeful for Drew Pine. I mean, last year he was right behind Cone, and I was always on the Pine train. I swear.
She's been on the train for a long time.
I really want to see something from him too. Chloe, what are you thinking?
I was gonna say, well, it's finally Pine time, Kelly. I'm so excited for Pine time. No, but step up. I definitely agree, Drew Pine. I don't think it's maybe a step up. It's more of a let's see what you can do, because I feel like he hasn't really gotten that game that you could really be creative with. And as I said before, I think UNC is that game to really show us what kind of quarterback he's going to be for this Notre Dame football team. And I also think the O-line needs to step up. It's not like they're doing a bad job. I just think that they could use some. They could give Drew a little more time for those vertical passing options, a little more time to run around the pocket and see his options. And I think that would just be an awesome thing to see, especially with Jarrett Patterson and Zeke Corral's false starts. I want to see that cut back, so I definitely think they could step up. I also think, I think the defense is playing great, but I also think that Notre Dame's defense needs to be careful in this game. UNC's quarterback, Drake May, has been hitting everything. First year as a starter, he's making 74% of his throws. 11 touchdowns on the years with only 1 pick. Those stats, those are pretty good stats. So I definitely don't want to. I don't want the defense to be complacent coming in here. May is looking really good, and on top of that, UNC has a great O-line. So if they have good protection and Drake May is hitting these throws, we gotta watch out, especially with the exciting game coming up.
Yeah, I'm scared. May has been good. May has definitely been good. It's hard because we went into this season ranked 5th. After Ohio State, we dropped to 8th. After Marshall, we were out of the rankings. And this week, we got 0 votes in the AP poll. Chloe, do you think we deserved any votes?
Yeah, preseason, as you said, we were 5 and jumped to 8. I really don't think we deserve to have any votes. I was surprised we got votes after the Marshall game. That Marshall game was very disappointing as a Notre Dame fan myself, and I don't think we deserve to have votes after that. And to be fair, we did beat Cal, but it was a hard win. Cal played really good. They put up some great competition, and we almost had a little trouble there at the end in the fourth quarter. But I don't think there's any need to panic because we still have some chances to get back in the mix. Next 2 games, UNC got some votes this weekend, so maybe that will help our case if we beat them. And then we BYU in 2 weeks, who is ranked number 19th, I believe. So that will also be a good one. And then later in the season, we have a Clemson. We have some other good games. So I definitely think that just because we didn't get any votes this week, it doesn't mean that we're out for good.
I think we definitely have to be forward-looking. Kind of forget the Marshall game, build off of the Cal game. Being forward-looking will help us a lot, I think. Liz, what are you thinking?
Look, I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I'm also honest. We don't deserve votes right now. I think we held up well against Ohio State, I thought, but since then we've lost our quarterback and we lost to Marshall. So let's be honest, this isn't the team it was, and hopefully we have some opportunities to get some ranked wins in this season, which we weren't really expecting. So if we can do that, I think we can prove that this is a respectable team. Playoffs obviously are out of the question, but I think we can prove that we don't deserve to have 0 votes in the AP poll. I think that's definitely where we're at right now, but I think there's a lot of potential for the future, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, now for my favorite part of Shamrock Sports, where we predict scores that are just always very wrong. But let's do it anyway. Liz, what are your score predictions for UNC Notre Dame?
My score prediction is Notre Dame 30, Carolina 21. I don't see this being a super high-scoring game just because our offense hasn't been really great these past couple weeks, but I still think we're going to hit 30 points. I think Carolina's still going to score on us a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be too close. I think we're going to have a pretty good control on this game the entire way. And honestly, we need a win because we've got a bye week next week. So how am I supposed to go 2 weeks with a loss and no Marcus Freeman on my TV? That seems like it's just unreasonable. So for those 2 reasons, I have to predict a win.
Chloe, score predictions?
Yeah, so this morning I woke up saying, I have no idea who's going to win. That's the thing. About score predictions, you usually know. You kind of have who's going to win. You just gotta, I don't know who's going to win. It's UNC against Notre Dame. You asked me 2 weeks ago, I'm hammering Notre Dame. But I went back and forth. But I came in the end. I did pick Notre Dame to win. 30-27 win Notre Dame. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Notre Dame is going to scare us a little bit, as they like to do, especially this season. But I think in the end, Drew Pine is going to prove us all right. That we think he's a good quarterback and we think he can play at a top school like this. So I definitely think Notre Dame will figure out a way to pull out the win. 30-27 Notre Dame.
All right, I'm thinking the same thing. I think Notre Dame will pull out a win. I'm going to go 28-24. I think it's going to be a tough start. I mean, watching Cal this past weekend, we started with 5 drives and no first down. I think it'll be a tough start. I think it'll be a struggle to watch, but I think we're going to make it through. I think we're going to win. I think it'll give us a little more momentum going into BYU.
I was going to say, Kelly, sometimes the struggle is fun.
Sometimes the struggle's fun. Sometimes it's fun. Yeah, sit on the edge of your seat. Yes.
It's going to be exciting.
I think it's going to be exciting. What else are you guys looking forward to in this game?
I'm looking forward to the fact that we're coming in as underdogs. I think that's not something that happens very often for Notre Dame. We're used to being kind of the top dogs. We're used to coming in and everyone being like, they're going to win this game, especially against a team like UNC. I can't remember the last time we were underdogs against a team like this, but I think it'll be good for us. I think sometimes being underdogs has a special way of just really pulling everything together, really firing people up. I think it's going to be really good for us, and I hope it's a great game.
I think someone especially can fire this team up. I mean, we talked about it a little, but that clip of Tommy Rees talking to Drew Pine, oh my gosh. And then there are the stats before and after. Liz brought this up. Do you like that coaching mentality? Do you think that'll help them? Do you think they need that fire?
I love the fire. I love the tough love. I think it worked. I think the clip was brutal. I mean, he was unlucky to get that on video, but I think it was great. I think it was exactly what he needed, and the stats proved it was exactly what he needed. And with that energy, I want to roll into this week, get the win, and then show up to Vegas ready to go. Ready to go.
And off of that, I was going to say, this is not uncommon in sports. We've all played high school sports. Even on that level, you get the coaches yelling some things at you. It's sometimes what the players need. This is just the first time that we really seen it, and we definitely have not seen it from Marcus Freeman yet. So that makes you wonder, how is Freeman behind the scenes? Did he get a little stern talking to them after the Marshall loss? I don't know. It just makes you think: is there a different coaching style between him and Brian Kelly, who was a little more forward in his coaching style?
Yeah, I'm always interested to see what happens behind the cameras, and I think that was a funny little clip, and it kind of entertained all of us a little. But I mean, I'm excited for this game upcoming this weekend. I think it'll be really fun. Great piece of the Notre Dame season. Any last words?
Yeah, I was gonna say off of that, Notre Dame, well, at least for our time at Notre Dame, has always been a winning team. We've always had the winning record. Right now, we're 1-2. We do not have that winning record. And teams play differently when they're defending a record versus they're trying to climb back on that record. So I think it's going to be play UNC with this losing record. See if we can get back to 2-2, hopefully. And yeah, I think it's just going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for tuning in to Shamrock Sports. Have a great weekend, and let's hope Irish get a win.